Okay, so we were considering and thinking about the various things that people keep on asking me about their life and the ways that they want to solve the various issues that's going on with their life. And what came to me is that what a lot of people are not understanding is that they need to be in control of their life. They need to be able to direct their life. They need to be the masters of their life and direct and take control of their life instead of handing over so much control to other people or to systems. And now with the onset of AI, is that's going to be, as I say now, that's going to be leading the pack in some ways, because there is going to be so many different ways that it can be used. And don't get me wrong, AI is going to be such a benefit for so many people, is in that. But what we need to be careful of and be aware of is that it should be used as a tool, not something to be totally directing our lives and how we should be spending our waking hours and even our sleeping hours. We need to be able to think through things, to be able to understand and think carefully and critically, most importantly, of where to deploy these various technology. Because there's some things that we need to be able to use, and one of the things that we need to be able to use is our critical thinking, our thoughts, our critical mind, to ask questions, to think through things, to disagree, and to be fine with that, and to understand that from it that you will find a consensus in what to do and how to do things. And so I was just looking at and thinking, how do we best try to capsulate and get a handle or understanding of how do we try and help people move forward in their lives. And what came to me was that, you need to be a connoisseur of self, to be a connoisseur of your own life, Just like a connoisseur of wines, they know, smell, taste, they can give you the vintage, the year, when it was planted, how it was processed. All these pieces of information they can gather by quite simply just by smelling or even just tasting it. And so we, in some ways, have to be just like that, but to be a connoisseur of your own life and be prepared to do the exploration, be prepared to ask those difficult questions and to understand, some things, we've taken on because it felt good at the time. We took some things on before because we were told that it was the right thing to do at the time. But now we can step back and say, and evaluate, is it really that good? Is it beneficial to me? And for a lot of people now are starting to question a lot of things. And, we need to ask a lot more questions. We've got to be a people who are prepared to ask those difficult questions about ourselves, because some things we are taking on that we should not be taking on, and the people that I see are taking on so many things that they should not be even going near, right? And I think the first place that you have to start is yourself. You need to be asking those questions. You've got to be a connoisseur. You've got to be prepared to know yourself inside and out, and not be frightened of the answers and results that you get, because you'll find there's certain things that will trigger you off, and you may think, oh, there's nothing much that really triggers me, but there's certain things that will trigger you unless you work through them. and be prepared to ask those things, because it could be an environmental thing, it could be a relationship issue, it could be various things, chemical imbalance in the body that could trigger you to be acting a certain way where normally you wouldn't be, and you find that if you outside in another environment or with a different group of people, you're totally different. So these things, I think, a lot of people don't address, or don't address fully. They may skimp, or skim, touch on the surface of things, but not being prepared to really look at it and delve deep. Because once you know that there's various things that could possibly trigger you and maybe not bring the best out of you, but also to understand that those triggers are there for your advantage. If you know there's certain people that you don't get on with, or that will trigger a certain response from you, you need to be able to step back and say, okay, this person does this and I react this way. How can I change it? How can I, instead of reacting, how can I respond to that person in a different way? And so gain control, mastery of that situation, mastery of that emotion, mastery of that environment. And I think this is where the challenge is for a lot of people, to be prepared and to be honest and say, you know what, let me just take a step back and find out what's really happening here. And one of the things I've found that has been tremendously useful is when people apply hypnotherapy to their situation, because hypnotherapy is it's not invasive, it's very relaxing, and when you're in a relaxed state, that's when you start to get answers. You start to see the challenges in a different way, in a different light, and you're able to be honest with yourself and so move forward in dealing with the answers. The solutions will come. Now, those solutions are always coming from the individuals themselves, because every person knows the solution to their problems. Everybody knows it, but it's a question of being honest with yourself and say, you know what, I know this person's not good for me. I know that food, if I eat that, it's not going to be good for me. But, it's a question of being honest and say, look, I'm going to avoid it, I'm not going to eat it, or I'm not going to eat it now. Are we being prepared to be honest with ourselves? And once we start to do those things, we can start to apply more self-discipline, self-control, and we start to be the masters of ourselves. To be the connoisseur of yourself requires that self-examination, to be disciplined. And again, when you start to apply a solution-focused hypnotherapy into that equation, the answers start to come. Not necessarily always fast, but they do come. And it comes at a time when you're able to handle the answers and the questions in a more honest way. Because if you're really wanting to get the maximum out of your life, and over the years, recent years, various things have happened and people have seen how short life is and also how valuable life is. And it's not to be squandered so easily. We need to maximize it, take advantage of it. It's there for our use. It's there for us to really understand and really make an impact in whatever way we are meant to make an impact in life. And so, I would encourage you, to really start to think about what is it that you can do to get mastery of your life, to be a connoisseur of your life. And I think that's really what you need to be. Not just a connoisseur of your life, but the connoisseur of yourself. So basically there's two parts to this really, and I think most likely it will turn into a series, most likely. But I would encourage you to be thinking about, can you be the connoisseur of yourself? Are you prepared to be the connoisseur of yourself? Now, if you are, and you would like some help going down this path, my contact details are down below. You can find me on alchemyoftheimagination.com, and there you'll find a booking page. Now, the initial consultation is totally free. There's no obligation to you at all. It's about 45 minutes to an hour where we will talk and discuss various things. And then if after that hour you feel, yeah, you want to move forward, then we'll book the sessions. Now normally there's a block booking of 8 sessions we deal with to start with. But the great thing is, your initial consultation, you get to ask all the questions that you need to be asking. And I think even that initial consultation will be a great benefit. Many people have found it to be so. And they have found hypnotherapy to be so beneficial in so many different ways. And the great thing is, it's custom made for the individual. You are in control of your sessions, and it's up to you to get the maximum out of it. So I would encourage you, if you're in a place where you are having second thoughts about various things, you may be dealing with some kind of depression, anxiety, phobia of some sort or another, whatever it may be, check us out. Go to our booking page, get an initial consultation. It's not going to cost you anything, an hour of your time. But that hour of your time may be one of the best times spent. So, I hope this video has been of help to you. Again, if it has, please share it with friends. Subscribe, because I'll be producing more videos along these series now. Because I really do think that when you start to be a connoisseur of yourself, doors will really start to open up for you. So, until then, take care, and please use the links, press like, subscribe, all those good things. Leave your comments down below. So, until next time, take care now. Bye-bye.